What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff Guy. Hey! And we are back with another reaction stream. Yes, I said another reaction stream. And today we will be talking about Joyboy, right? Joyboy. What about Joyboy? Right. So Randy Troy, I haven't watched the theory yet. This is going to be my first time, like always. I haven't watched a second of it, so I don't really know what he's going to go into, like in depth into, right? But just kind of based off of the thumbnail and the title of the video, Joyboy was a snake. Now, if we take that as face value, I believe that it can mean two things. It can mean one of two things, possibly even mean both. But I think it's more one or the other. I already kind of know which one I believe it is. But for the sake of kind of discussion, it could be one of two things, right? It could mean Joyboy was a betrayer, like he was a traitor, You know, maybe he was a snake as in like he betrayed his people, right? That's either A. Now I think that one's the least likely of the two because if you just look at the thumbnail, I think the thumbnail kind of makes it obvious which of the two it is. And the second one, or B, option B, is that Joyboy was an actual snake, right? An actual animal snake, right? Like kind of like the snake we see in Skypiea, the two snakes. I forget what they were called, but it kind of goes well with what I talked about before. I want to say last stream yesterday, right? That, or I kind of talked about. I think I talked about this video yesterday a little bit, but it was this. It was kind of going back to Skypiea when we see the flashback with Nolan Montblanc and Calgara. You know, I think he was a Shadorian or whatever. The natives that lived on Jaya. You know, especially before it shot up to the sky, right? But even then, they were kind of fighting in the sky for that piece of Earth, right? Or they called it Verth. But I think they called it Verth. Did they call it Verth, or is that what they call Moon? Verth. I don't. I think they called it Verth, right? So and shout out to Angels Room. Let me address the chat. Shout out to Angels Room with the yo. Hey man, Angels Room he here heavy, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. He says, yeah, Verth. Yeah, I thought so. So, but back in that flashback, right, when Nolan got to the island pretty much and before it shot up the Skypiea, we witnessed Nolan and his men pretty much encountering a human sacrifice, right? That the Shandorians are doing. And I want to say it was Calgara's daughter who was being sacrificed. And so they were sacrificing her to the sun god, if I remember correctly. And then it was that big snake. We see that big snake. I forget what the snake was, but the snake came in. I remember they called that snake the sun god. Because I think Nolan came through, killed the snake, and then I think they was pretty much saying like he killed the sun god or whatever. So going off of this snake being considered the sun god, if my memory do indeed serve me correctly, like we know that Nika is also the sun god, and a lot of people connect Nika with Joyboy and Luffy as well. They connect Nika with Luffy. They connect Joyboy with Luffy. They connect Joyboy and Nika, right? Nika's the sun god, and there was also the Skypian sun god, who was the snake. Angel's Room said, I'm usually free when you stream it. Hey, man, I'm glad. I'm glad. Hey, shout out to Angel. He said, your memory is correct. And I appreciate you, confirming my memory. So, what was I saying? Okay, so they called the snake the sun god, and we also know Nika's considered the sun god, and we know that Joyboy has a connection with Nika. So would that also mean Joyboy has connection with the snakes of Jaya, right? The sun gods of Jaya. Do Nika have potentially have or not Nika? Does Joyboy potentially have a connection with those snakes? What was Joyboy in fact an ancestor of these snakes, right? Or because maybe Joyboy was considered the sun god. Like maybe Joyboy was looked at as the reincarnation of Nika or something along that line. Or maybe Joyboy and Nika are the same person. I don't know. I'm not really trying to get into any theories of the connection between Joyboy and Nika. That's not my job here today. Angel's Room said Joyboy is only connected to Nika because Nika is connected to Luffy. I mean that definitely could be the case. I think there's more to it personally. I think like because again, like I've talked about the real life Joy Boy, right? There is a in real life history. I want to say about 800 years ago, about 1,000 years ago, 900. I want to say it was like 809. It was somewhere between 800 to 1,000 years ago, right? In Javanese history, you can look this up. There was this king of the Javanese. I don't know if the what the country of the Javanese country is. Java, the country of Java, maybe, I don't know, but there was this society, this Javanese society. They had this king named Jayabaya, like Jayabaya, and it can also be translated to Joyoboyo. You can look it up. Joyoboyo, Joyoyo, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah. And this king, he was the king of this society. He made these. I want to say he made these like predictions that he predicted that his kingdom will fall, and y'all can look this up, like literally Google this. I might not be like saying this exactly correctly. I could be off on some of these because it's been a while since I touched up on this topic, right? But this king, yeah, he predicted the fall of his country, and it came true, right? And all this happened about like 800, 900 years ago, almost 1,000 years ago, kind of like in One Piece. The voice century happened about the same. And but the reason why I kind of wanted to bring this king up, right? This king Joyoboyo or Jayabaya. The reason why I wanted to bring him up is because he was also considered, like I guess they said he was the reincarnation of a god, Vishu or Vishnu, something like that. I think it's Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. So, and to me, and I kind of use that example to say why Joyboy in One Piece could potentially be a reincarnation of a deity in the One Piece world. And I think the closest deity he'll be connected to is Nika. It just makes the most sense to me, right? Because I think Joyboy was probably similar to Nika in many ways as well. Just like Luffy mirrors, like, there's a lot of connection with Joyboy and Luffy. Kind of like what you said about Joyboy is only connected to Nika because Nika is connected to Luffy. But that still makes them connected, though. That still makes them connected. And I will argue the fact that Luffy is a lot newer than both of these two characters means that there was always probably a connection between Joyboy and Nika. Angel also said Luffy also seemed to be more connected to Nika than Joyboy. Well, we don't really know a lot about Joyboy though, so I can't. It's hard to say that Joyboy seems to be connected more than Luffy when we've followed Luffy for so long, so we got to know more about Luffy. Joyboy is still a mystery. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to say that. Like that's all I'm saying. It's easy to come to that conclusion because we followed Luffy a lot more. You know what I'm saying? But we don't really know about Joyboy besides few things here and there. Besides the fact that Zunisha said Joyboy returned. Why was Zunisha say Joyboy returned when the sun got when we get the drop of the sun god Nika Devil Fruit? You know what I'm saying? Why would when we finally get this new Nika character and he becomes relevant to the plot? why would Zunisha bring up Joyboy? You know what I mean? You said, but maybe that'll change in the future. Okay, you know, I probably should have finished reading some of it, but yeah, exactly. And he said Luffy's only connection to Joyboy is Zunisha and Shirahoshi, but even then, Zunisha treat Luffy as a different person from Joyboy. Shirahoshi is connected because she's the princess, but I don't think Shirahoshi knows who Joyboy is. I don't think she can. Or no, you said Zunisha. Never mind. I mean, but again, like I said, when Zunisha said the return of Joyboy, that was the exact moment that the Sun God Nika Devil Fruit awakened, and we start seeing Luffy actually become Sun God, right? But Zunisha like related it to Joyboy, you know. Like there's still some there, like Zunisha wouldn't have said what Zunisha said if there was no connection between Joyboy and Nika. You know what I mean? At least that's not how I look at it, you know. But yeah. All right, so but I don't know, we don't know, right? Like, but they could have been the same person for all we know. They could have been the same person. I personally think that Nika predates Joyboy, you know, and I think Joyboy is. I think Joyboy is like inherited Nika's will. I think just like Roger inherited Joyboy's will, and Luffy, you could say, inherited Roger's will. They pretty much all have the same will. I believe that's what I believe, at least. You know, I believe Joyboy was probably the first kind of reincarnation of quote unquote I don't want to say reincarnation. I don't want to use that word. Like, I don't want to use. That's why I kind of like the inherited will term more than reincarnation. I don't like that word. I don't want to use that for this series, right? But yeah, anyway though, let's get into this video. I kind of rambled enough. So yeah, let's get into it. Bam. All right, so I didn't tell y'all, make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all subscribe if y'all haven't subscribed already. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Facebook. I'm a little late with this. But yeah, and if you're looking for a One Piece community, we have the Discord and we have the Facebook group for you guys. And also, the original video will be linked in the description box as well. So y'all make sure y'all go to Randy's channel and show him some love. Let's get into this video.
Y'all, you know what time it is. It's about to be that time.
See, I already know, man. Like you seen in the beginning, you seen the snake, right? Y'all seen the snake, that Skypiea snake, and I'm saying I know he's gonna relate. I already know he's gonna relate Sun God, or he's gonna relate Luffy to that snake. Angel's Room said, by the way, in chapter 1046, Zunisha says it's like you're here, meaning he probably not actually there. But okay, but even then, the fact that Zunisha is able to connect Joyboy, like Zunisha is making the connection itself to Joyboy. Like the fact that the feeling had to be so similar, that means that there's something to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like, even though it's not necessarily Joyboy, I get it. it's not Joyboy that's there, right? It's not Joyboy, it's Luffy. But the fact that Zunisha is sitting here like, hey, it's like Joyboy is here. That already shows that the presence of Joyboy is similar to the presence of the awakening of the sun god Nika Devil Fruit, which is what I'm saying, really. Like, it's really all I'm saying. Even if he just says it's like you're here, you're probably not here. It's still to Zunisha, it still feel like Joyboy is there, and that is what the sun god Nika Devil Fruit is. That's the type of presence that it gives off. That's the connection, I'm telling you. That's part of the connection. You know, it's like two different people that give two separate presences. They won't be connected. But if you got two people that give similar presents, that there has to be some type of connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they feel like the same person, that in itself is a connection. You said, yeah, but she says it like it's like he's there, not because of the devil fruit, but because of the drums. Still doesn't change what I'm saying, bro. It still doesn't change what I'm saying inherently. He is saying because it reminds him of him. Yeah, but I get what y'all saying. But the fact that whatever you want to say is reminding Zunisha of Joyboy, it's still relevant to their connection. Is my point. You know, like if it was somebody that was nothing like Joyboy, or not connected to Joyboy, he probably wouldn't even brought up Joyboy. If Nika, if everything going on with the Devil Fruit Awakening was unrelated to Joyboy, he would never have said anything about Joyboy. Like, what's the point in even bringing Joyboy up? Like, really, what's the point in bringing Joyboy up when we get this whole Nika reveal? Like, what is the point? If there's like zero connection between Joyboy and Nika, what is the point even bringing up Joyboy? Anyway, let's continue.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Savage. And we're back with a
Angel, you said that. I get that. I acknowledge what you said. I acknowledge that it was, you said the drums. I acknowledge that, but it still doesn't change what I say. It still don't change what I'm saying. Like, my point still stands. What was the point in Oda having to? Why did Oda feel the need to bring up Joyboy in any capacity? In any capacity, be it because of the drums, be because of the presence. What was the purpose of Oda bringing up? Like, Oda had a reason to bring up Joyboy at that point. You could say the drums, which, yes, it could be the drums, but it still remains. He wanted to show it. Oda wanted to showcase the connection, is what I'm saying. It's Oda showcasing a connection. If there is no connection, Oda would have never put any drums there. He would have never had Zunisha bring up Joyboy. It would have never been any of that. If there was zero connection between Joyboy and Nika. The drums are connected to Joyboy. Let's continue.
another One Piece theory video. All right, this one's a big one, so if you like it, share it around, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Big spoilers for anime onlys. We're getting into some heavy manga stuff here, so watch out. Big topic in the community. Ever since Luffy's fruit was revealed to be anime onlys, get the hell out of here. The Hito no Mi.
Y'all got the first of it, so if you're an anime watcher, you better get the hell out of here, like you said. Stan says there is a connection, but that doesn't mean that the connection means that Joy Boy's soul or essence or spirit or whatever is in Luffy. It just means that Joy Boy probably had the same fruit. What are you talking about? I don't know what are you talking about? That's not what we was arguing. What me and Angel are arguing is Nika and Joy Boy connected? That was the argument. That's what me and Angel are talking about. It's nothing about who is Joy Boy or Nika's soul within Luffy. That's not what we're arguing. Is what we're arguing is Nika and Joy Boy connected. What I'm telling Angel is that Nika and Joy Boy are connected, and Luffy is connected to them. I said Nika is connected to Joy Boy. Joy Boy is connected to Roger. Roger's connected to Luffy. They're all connected, right? They're all connected. Like, I believe in I even brought up the inherited will. I believe that Nika predated Joy Boy. So Joy Boy inherited Nika's will. Roger inherited Joy Boy's will. Luffy inherited Roger's will. What Angel is saying is he's saying that Joy Boy is connected to Luffy, but Nika is connected to Luffy, and Joy Boy and Nika aren't connected. Their only connection, he's saying is the only connection between Joy Boy and Nika is Luffy. And what I'm saying is they're all connected. You know, that's pretty much what I'm saying. But I don't know what you're talking about, Stan. You just come into the argument. You just come in debating. Don't even know we. You don't even know we debating. He just come in. Hey, hold on. You both wrong. Like, what was y'all arguing again? Oh man, y'all are hilarious. Angel said, "Nah, I'm just chatting at this point." Y'all are hilarious. I feel like y'all just be like on debate mode. Every time y'all be like, "Yo, the stream's starting. I'm ready to debate." Nah, it's all good though. I'm messing with y'all. But let's continue.
Model sun god Nika. People have been bringing up the panel in the Calgar and Nolan flashback where they are sacrificing Calgara's daughter Moose to the gods.
To the gods.
4 of them.
4 of them.
Ha! 4 of them. The Earth God, the Forest God, the Rain God, and the Sun God. Yeah. We don't know.
Man, I'm telling y'all, man, Scott P will be having some gems. Stan says they do have a connection. The way I see it, Nika is just the name of the devil fruit that Joy Boy had. Meaning that Nika and Joy Boy from the past are the same person. Nika is just the name of the devil fruit. I've also said that. I've said Nika and Joy Boy could have also been the same person. You know, but if they're not the same person, I think Nika predated Joy Boy. You know, kind of like I brought up, there's this old, in real life history, there was a king, a Javanese king. Y'all could go look it up. You know, I'm gonna try to keep this quick. I already said it earlier in the stream. The king's name was Joyoboyo or Jayabea, right? He existed probably like 800-900, 1,000 years ago, somewhere around that. And he was a king. He predicted the fall of his kingdom, which came true. He made other predictions as well that came true. They also said he was the reincarnation of the god Vishnu. So y'all go look up Jayabea, you know. And I'm kind of looking like Nika is like Vishnu, and Joy Boy is like Jayabea, you know, the real life or the One Piece versions, you know. But let's continue.
Know any avatars for any of the other gods except for the sun god. To them, it was Kashi, a gigantic snake. So the whole purpose of this theory is to suggest that Joy Boy and potentially Nika, if they're supposed to be 2 different people, were not exactly human. Kind of in the same way that Chopper isn't exactly human. So I'm suggesting, based on a lot of snake imagery throughout the series, which, yes, we're going to get into. We're going to get into panels.
I mean, when you think about it, though, a snake eating a Hito no Mi, Nika, version Nika, right? Maybe that's like, maybe Joyboy was originally a snake. He ate the Hito no Mi Nika, right? Became more human-like and rubbery. And him being a snake, he probably could already extend as well, right? Probably turn to a snake and a human. And so, I mean, come on, like, them snakes are pretty big as well. So he could probably be like a snake that could stretch even further, right? Like a giant snake that could get even bigger, you know? But, so, I mean, that could make sense, but that's more along for Joyboy, not Luffy, because Luffy's not a snake, right? But yeah, so yeah, the original Joyboy could have been a snake, and I'm trying to think. I'm gonna let him finish. I'm gonna let him go, but let me finish. Angel's Room said, I would agree if the Sun God wasn't treated as his person and not a devil fruit. Sengoku and Marco's devil fruit have never been talked about as actual persons who existed. The name, sorry about that. Their name are probably just inspired from other gods who might be worshipped in One Piece. Sengoku and Marco's devil fruit have never been talked about as an actual person. So what you're saying is you think the devil fruit Nika is just a devil fruit and not an actual person that existed? Is that what you're saying, Angel? Because look, how it was foretold by who's who, right? Who's who, you know? It was almost as if he talked about Nika as if he actually existed. So I don't know, you know, like he was a person, like Nika was an individual person that actually existed, you know. So my theory on it, my theory is either Joyboy and Nika could be the same person, or Nika could have predated Joyboy, and around Nika's time, maybe that was like the origins of devil fruits, could be potentially around Nika's time, and maybe somehow Nika became a devil fruit. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe there was some evil person back in the day who turned the society into devil fruits, you know, and maybe they had abilities, kind of like what I'm talking about with Eliz, when we talk about how Haki could create devil fruit abilities or devil fruit like abilities, right? And if that does come to be true, Nika could have existed and became a devil fruit, or maybe Joyboy was Nika. Maybe they called Joyboy Nika or whatever. I don't know, man. It's like I don't have a soul, because I kind of think there's a couple possibilities. Stan says the only thing that we know so far is that in the past there was a person named Sun God Nika who liberated slaves. However, now we know that the person who has the Nika devil fruit is the embodiment of said God, meaning Sun God Nika isn't an actual person, but just an epithet of the person who has that devil fruit. And again, that's a possibility. I agree with that. I don't think that is necessarily the case for certain, but I agree with that could possibly be in the case. It could just be an epithet. Maybe Joyboy's epithet was Nika, which ultimately feeds in my idea that they're connected, right? But again, there's also the possibility that Nika could have existed and turned into a devil fruit, and Nika isn't Joyboy, or isn't an epithet. It was actual person. you know, we don't have enough information to be making like, no, I think it's this. You know what I'm saying? And Angel said, no, I'm saying Nika is an actual person and that his name is treated different from other deity fruits. Oh. Yeah. I mean, again, that could be the case as well. I think either situation is likely, but speaking to Angel, I still believe that him and Joyboy is connected though. So let's continue.
We're going to get into specifics. I'm suggesting that the original Joyboy was a snake. Now, Skypiea was not the only...
I mean, but think about this, though. Joyboy also... There's a lot of theories that Joyboy was a giant, right? So, in those snakes, kind of like the Skypiea snakes, they were giants as well. So, you know, we seen that hat in Mary Joa. You know, it was a pretty big straw hat, so maybe that hat was for a giant snake or a giant individual. I don't know. I'm not implying that he was a giant snake. I'm just saying, for the sake of the Randy Troy's theory, we're going to speak like it could have been a giant snake. So yeah, and then he eats the Hito no Mi sun god Nika. Then that could mean that he became more human-like or had more human-like features.
Only time that we had heard about the sun god. It was also a plot point during the Mother Carmel Big Mom flashback, where while on Elbaf, the giants, the people of Elbaf, believed in a sun god. Mother Carmel used it as a tool to sort of manipulate the people of Elbaf, right? That the sun god was calling to her, using her soul powers to, create Prometheus and manipulate them in that fashion. But there's also a lot of Norse mythology within One Piece. It's actually the reason why we have One Piece. Oda's affinity for Norse mythology in the first place is what gives us One Piece. And one of the biggest creatures from Norse mythology is the Jormungandr, which is a gigantic snake, right? Which could be a reference to why we have gigantic snakes in Skypiea. But imagine a gigantic snake like Nola, like Kashi, eating the Hito no Mi model Nika, and then...
If y'all watch Toriko, there's like a king snake or something. I think like it's a big snake that it like stands up and reaches into space. But yeah, like and yeah, God of War. There was that world snake. If y'all played God of War, the last one that came out. Was it the last one? Because I feel like there's a new one either coming out or it maybe. Yeah, I don't think it came out yet. So yeah, the last one that the first reboot, right? The first like Viking, the Viking reboot of it, Andrew said, by the way, I honestly wouldn't mind if they were the same person. And Stan's idea seems to be more likely. Yeah, so see, now you agree. See, it only took Stan to come in though, but that's all I'm saying was they connected. Now you're like, man, I think they could be connected. I think they could be the same person. That would mean they're connected, brother. That would mean they connected. Or they have some level of connection. I'm not just talking, man. I'm not just talking to be talking and just saying things, Even though sometimes these ideas come out on the fly, so I gotta try to pack it. Sometimes it's a little difficult to package in a receivable way, But let's continue.
Being able to get even larger. Because the idea here is that the Jormungandr was a snake that was able to wrap itself around the entirety of the world. Fun fact, Jormungandr in Norse mythology was defeated by Thor, just as Nola was defeated by an El-Thor attack. Oda thinks he's slick. He is. Savage. In Egyptian mythology, the sun god Ra's most famous enemy.
Man, I never caught that. never caught that. But then you know, if you look at the flashback though, that big snake, I think he was decapitated. I think Nolan straight killed him. I think Nolan straight killed him. So he wasn't defeated by no Thor. He was defeated by Nolan. Andrew said it's more like a see-through rope. And then Stan says, kind of off topic, but how long do you see the Wano arc going for? And more specifically, when do you see Luffy beating Kaido? What chapter? See, that's a tough question for me to answer because I have my own thoughts that I still, something deep inside of me still wanted to happen. I actually I've been having this long running fan canon theory in my head that Luffy will actually lose at the end of Wano, where like Kaido would still win, but maybe Kaido leaves Wano or something, you know. But it's no like real victory for Luffy. Like at the end of the day, that's always been kind of my fan theory. And before you say, well, that just means Wano's going to last longer. No, I mean it would end like Wano would still end. It would just end in like not a real victory, either a defeat or like a you know, not really good victory. Kind of, I forget what they call them. Those victories where it's still kind of like a loss. You know, I forget what they call it, but like maybe Kaido decides to leave on his own, so it's not like Luffy actually defeats Kaido. Like that was always kind of my how I kind of wanted this. You know, it was my own thing. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe later down the line in like the bigger war, I wanted to see like when we had like the big war where we get all the Yonko, we get the world government and the Navy and all that. I wanted to see all the Yonko there. You got Kaido, Big Mom, Blackbeard, Shanks, all in one place, right? And then you get Luffy showing up as like the fifth Yonko, right? But officially though, like this time he would actually be worthy of having that title because he pushed Kaido to have to retreat. You know, even though he ain't necessarily beat Kaido, he kind of forced Kaido to retreat, and also what he did with Big Mom as well. So that was always kind of my thing. But seeing how it seemed like the climax is nearing its end, you know, I think. Okay. As far as when do I think the fight is going to end, I would say maybe, I don't want to say a couple more chapters, but somewhere between 5 to maybe 10 chapters, maybe, you know, because I think outside of the fight, I think we're going to get flashback, like some Kaido flashback, you know. Now, if we get the Kaido flashback in the middle of the fight, then I think the fight could probably end in like maybe 10 to 20 chapters, you know. And I'm just spitballing. I don't know. I have no clue, honestly. But I'm trying to give you an answer. I'm trying to give you my best answer. As far as Wano, I think even after the end of the fight, I think that we might get more of Wano. Because me personally, I would like to see some Zoro stuff. Maybe some Zoro. Maybe Zoro kind of learns that he has some ties to Wano somehow. Maybe we also know that Zoro wants to visit Ryuma's grave. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you gotta think about if Oda end up having a party. You know what I'm saying? Like if Luffy does defeat Kaido, he's gonna have a party for liberating Wano. So I think there's still more to explore with Wano. So I think there's gonna be at least another act. But that act isn't going to be as long as the act that we're currently in. You know, it'd probably be a short act, honestly. Like maybe about 5 to 10 chapters. So yeah. So I think after the fight, we'll probably get like another 5 to 10 chapters of stuff. Probably closer to 5. I don't think it's going to be like that many chapters. But I think we'll get some closure with Odin and everybody, and see ultimately what Momonosuke's fate is up to or left up to Yamato. Could somebody be joining the crew? Who dies? Who doesn't? Maybe some type of memorial. We'll get memorial chapter of somebody who hasn't made it. All in all, that's kind of what I think. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. Every time I make a prediction about how much longer we got, I'm always completely wrong. I thought the current act that we're in, I thought would have ended over 50 chapters ago, honestly. Like before they got to the roof, I thought it would have ended. Or not even before that, probably before maybe before the roof. I thought it would have ended at the roof, But we're still in that same act. And you said because you're tired of Wano, I do enjoy the Luffy versus Kaido fight, but I just wanted to move forward to the next arc. That's fair. Angel's Room said 1053, and I personally see them leaving Wano in chapter 1055 if nothing big happens. All right, that's cool. I mean, I don't disagree because I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna be that soon, but I don't know. It could be. Cause what chapter we're in now? 1047, 48. Bro, to end the arc that soon. Cause I feel as though there's still a lot of stuff that's not even really for sure. Like there's a lot of plots in this war that's not even concluded. But I don't know. And he said because the Straw Hats usually leave after partying, so they might do a 2-week time skip of partying, like Arlong Park. Says this is going to be Luffy's biggest party. And then Stan says, for me, 1053 or 1055 for Luffy ending the fight with Kaido. But as for when Wano ends, after the stuff with Luffy and Kaido ends, I don't know. Anything or another thing to help your theory of the ancient kingdom making devil fruits is the fact that the Gorosei say they've been trying to capture the gum gum fruit for 800 years. Void was 800 to 900 years ago. Yeah, exactly, and that's why that's personally why I like that like the whole Jayabaya theory, because his name Joyboy is or Jayabaya. There's two different ways his name's said two different ways, one with O and one with A's, and so the name is there, right? The name kind of falls in line, even though it's Joyboy. And then the timeline of when he existed falls in line. The fact that he was a king and he was considered a reincarnation of a guide, you know what I'm saying? And I personally believe that if Joyboy and Nika aren't the same person, Joyboy just inherited Nika's will, like he's kind of like the quote unquote reincarnation of Nika. And Stan says even Oda said that he didn't expect for us to still be in Wano, meaning he did extend the arc with unnecessary stuff. For example, we didn't need to introduce so many different gifters. Yeah, that was unnecessary. I agree. Let's get back into this video because I'm not really that far into it.
Apophis was a giant serpent. So perhaps Emu, who I've said potentially has ties to Imhotep, is actually the snake in this world. There are other mythologies at play here as well, and religion. Kuma walks around with a Bible, right? Which means there's somehow some form of Christianity or Catholicism in this world, or at least at one point was. We've joked about it before as Brooks Fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi model Jesus, because he was able to resurrect himself. The creation story. Adam and Eve with the snake, right? We know in the story that there is an Adam tree, right? Which is what gave us the wood for the Thousand Sunny. We have the Eve tree, which has been heavily speculated to be what bears the fruit of the devil fruit. What if a snake, a blue snake like Nola and Kashi, came across the Eve tree and ate from it. The forbidden fruit. The Hito Hito no Mi model Sun God Nika. And
see, man, I love when people like connect theories, like One Piece theories with the Bible, because I feel as though One Piece does drop a lot of biblical references. So it's like, you know, I like it. You know what I'm saying? It's just entertaining. You know, I used to be religious, so it's like I kind of know the Bible. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert at it, not at all, but I'm familiar with it. So a lot of the stories I'm familiar with. So when people relate those stories with One Piece, you know, it just kind of captures my ear and my eye. You know. Angel said, at this point, I could see any Promethea fruit somehow being a mythical zone. I don't think Oda's gonna go that far, but I do believe he'll like toe the line though. Oda kind of likes to toe the line where it's like some, you know, I think the next route we'll see is a Logia devil fruit being a mythical zone, and I think the Logia devil fruit in question that I'm specifically talking about could be Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi that acts nothing like a Logia, right? Like it's not intangible. Like that's like the one major property of most of Logias. They have like an intangibility factor. I'm not saying that's like it's necessary for it to be a Logia, but every Logia that we come across except that one works like that. They have an intangibility factor. His, on the other hand, doesn't. And it kind of works zonish because now I don't know if that's his natural, you know, because Blackbeard is kind of durable, right? That could be his natural durability, or it could be the Devil Fruit's durability. But even then, it's like, and then the Yami Yami no Mi looks like the Gummo Gummo no Mi, so it's like, you know, I wouldn't be shocked. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't be shocked. Let's continue. Katakuri, the donut guy. Joke, by the way, I got you. He is the donut guy. Hey, man, I had some donuts earlier, boy, talking about Katakuri. Boy, Katakuri I would have made Katakuri proud with them donuts, man. For real. You bringing up donuts. Now, I mean, I still got some. I can't wait to get another one, honestly. Let's continue.
became a sentient human. Interestingly enough, when you also go into the Calgara and Nolan flashback, Seto, or Saito, which is Calgara's son-in-law, he ends up marrying Moose. We see him interacting with Nola, feeding them an apple, which ties into the creation story, a snake eating an apple. It's a little on the nose there, but, still food for thought. Also, why does Seto, aka Saito, look like Luffy? All right? I'm just saying. I mean, people say that Vivi and Rebecca are just blue and pink Nami, respectively. But this man looks like Luffy.
Blue and pink
Does he
Nami.
have ties to the Shandian people? Is that why in Volume 27, Oda drew Luffy with Skypian wings? It wouldn't be the first time that a color spread.
But y'all notice, right? In this cover spread, it's a little off topic, right? A little off topic. But in this cover spread, right? And this has to do with Skypiea specifically. Skypiea, this is Skypiea art. We see Luffy, right? We see Luffy's face. And what is he doing? He's blinking his left eye, right? He's blinking his left eye. And I think there's other instances of Luffy like covering his left eye, or I don't know, having, doing this or something, like just always something with his left eye. And, there's a theory I think from O'Hara, and it's about Jaya, right? Which is also part of the Skypiea arc. Jaya. And if you look at Jaya, right? You look at the map, especially the original map, I think with the Verth still there. There is that missing, it looks like a skull. It looks like a skull with a missing left eye. Just kind of throwing that out there, That's why, you know, and I was kind of like looking for one of these cover pages with that Luffy left eye. But anytime I talk about, like, you know, bring up that left eye, just remember this cover page. Anytime I bring up something about eyes or left eyes or whatever. I think Zoro, isn't Zoro's left eye closed too? But yeah, so yeah, I don't want to get too much into that theory though about Jaya possibly being where Laugh Tale is, where that missing left eye, that's where Laugh Tale was, right? I mean, that's the theory. That's the theory, you know. And it also has something to do with maybe it sunk into the ocean, like Laugh Tale. Like, you see how one part of the Sky P went to the sky? Maybe Laugh Tale sunk into the ocean. And when you look at Ennis Lobby and how that's formed, coincidence? Maybe. Or perhaps not. Angel's Room said, did you know that Katakuri's devil fruit was originally going to be Logia? That turned him to flower, but got changed to mochi. Yeah, Zoro left eyes closed. Yeah, Katakuri definitely got a very unique devil fruit that's very Logia-ish like. But he doesn't really have real intangibility because he kind of has to move his organs around to avoid major damage, you know. Which, all in all, is kind of what Logias do as well, right? They kind of, but they more turning it. They're more intangible though, so I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, you said, yeah, Zoro's left eye is closed. Exactly, man. Something with that left eye, man. It's like it's a very symbolic thing. You know, I think Oda has done that multiple times to show like how pertinent the left eye is. And then you look at the Luffy's scar, right? It's right under the left eye. You know, Zoro's scar is on his left eye. It's like, you know, I think it's a clue to something that Oda is leaving us. It's a clue to something. You ain't gonna tell me otherwise. Let's continue.
That Oda has drawn has come back to be some sort of foreshadowing. This may go deeper than we think.
What if we can go back to Skypiea, and the whole Calgara flashback was actually a way for Oda to show us the lives of Luffy's ancestors 400 years ago? I mean, look at Garp and Calgara. They basically use the same fighting style. I mean, we'd need to know how some of the descendants made it to the Blue Seas, but nonetheless, it's still kind of wild.
But I'm also still holding out hope that Luffy is part Lunarian. And that's the real reason for his affinity for fire.
I actually kind of, I actually don't disagree with the Lunarian fully theory. I don't fully disagree with it because I kind of believe that, like, people who hold the will of D in their name, I believe like they're descendants of like moon people, you know, maybe possibly like if there are people that's considered sun people, like they actually live on the sun, not that, but that they're just called sun people, just like moon people probably called moon people. I don't know. Even though Lunarians are probably moon people as well. So I mean, maybe there is something to like the whole Lunarian descendants, right? Maybe people who hold the D in their name are descendants of Lunarians. So you know, like one thing I've seen in a theory that really have me thinking that it always kind of stayed in the back of my mind, and that was the idea that the D in the initial D, right, and like Monkey D Luffy, like that initial, it originally wasn't a D. It was originally meant to be like a moon symbol, kind of like when you read hieroglyphics, they don't really use letters, they use symbols, you know, to communicate, you know. So that D was originally just a symbol being used to express like this certain clan or certain tribe, you know, or this certain group of people and their descendants, and it was translated into a D, You know, and I always kind of like that idea because it's, you know, it's creative and it makes sense. And it, when you look at a D, it does kind of look like a half moon a little bit, right? And that's originally what the symbol was, a half moon that was translated into a D or converted to a D. Angel's Room says Sanji's left eye was also covered all of pre-time skip. Pretty weird. I never noticed the change in hair. And then he says, did you also know that in Whole Cake Island, the food Sanji was going to give Puddin actually had all of Straw Hat's favorite food. Good thing he gave it to Luffy. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that was definitely a talking point at that point. How there was like the I think the meat for Luffy. I want to say the burger for Frankie, the soda for or no. Was Frankie burgers? I think Frankie was burgers. I know he likes cola though. Zoro, I think sake or sushi, one or the other. I don't remember. I can't remember all the food items, but I remember people breaking it down though. So yeah, I do remember. Zoro rice. Okay, that makes sense. Frankie burger. I thought so. I forget what Chopper was, and yeah, I forget what everybody else was. I know Luffy was meat. Zoro was rice, or I thought it was sushi. I know it was something ricey though. Frankie burgers. That's all I really remember. Nami tangerine, Chopper chocolate. Yeah, Chopper does like chocolate. Cause he's sweet loving Chopper. Or no, I thought it was cotton candy. I thought that was Chopper's favorite food. Like cotton candy loving Chopper or whatever. Brooke Curry. Stan says another interesting fact, but if Zoro had a devil fruit, he would have Kaido's devil fruit. I heard that. That's why I heard that somebody brought that up, and they said they think Zoro is going to get Kaido's devil fruit, which I don't like that idea because at this point, I like Zoro not having a devil fruit. To me, it's like if he was going to get a devil fruit, he should have got one like earlier in the series, like pre-time skip. You know, I would have been fine with it if it was like sometime in the middle. But now, at this point, he's gotten so strong on his own. I feel as though it would just be kind of useless to his character. It would probably kind of hinder his character a little bit, maybe. Fish Usopp, Pasta Sanji. And Stan says the fact that Oda said that means that he's not getting the devil fruit. Yeah. And I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't after. If Kaido dies, I hope he doesn't get it. Let's continue.
Fire, but I mean, he is now the sun god, so I guess that's why he can probably use fire also. Especially considering that during Skypiea, for a large portion of it, a lot of people's least favorite parts of Skypiea involve Luffy being trapped inside one of these giant snakes, which could eventually become foreshadowing because there would be another giant snake that once again has the Hito Hito no Mi, model sun god Nika, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, within it, even though it's within the possession of someone else. And an interesting parallel would be when Enel zaps Nola, right? And we get the onomatopoeia for the snake dying. And then what happens? The eyelid lifts open, and almost as if, you know, it's awakening, Luffy looks through the eye of the snake. This man who has a form called Snake Man when he doesn't have any other forms that are named after animals. Sure, he's got attacks that are named after animals, but there's Gear 4th Bound Man, Gear 4th Tank Man, Gear 4th Snake Man. Is there a memory, a soul within the...
That's kind of a good point. You know, that is the only animal that is the only form with actual animal name that I never actually realized. I mean, but you can say that his other forms are based on animals. Like I would say that Bounce Man is probably based on a gorilla, maybe. You know, I don't really know what I would say Tank Man is based on. You know, because it was just like a fat it was a fat gorilla almost. But yeah, Snake Man is that's the form and that's his name, Snake Man, right? So great point. Angel's Room said haven't seen Luffy use a fire move in any of Gears besides 2 and 3. Yeah, I don't think he has, you know. I don't remember, at least. I can't think of a time, so I'm not going to debate it because I can't think of one.
The fruit that caused Luffy to create that form in the first place. What does Luffy do after this? He goes and he fights Enel, a man who believes himself to be a god, right? Fighting a man who doesn't know that he actually is a god, a rubber man who was able to tank that zap the same way that the previous user of the fruit, this giant snake, would have been able to tank that zap, but their potential descendant, Nola, was not able to do so. So Luffy fighting Enel would almost be a way of him avenging in some sort of weird way the descendant of his fruit. If you can follow along with that. Another cool detail is that the
It make a little sense.
entrance to Shandora looks like it is a shrine to a particular deity. The eyebrows look just like Gear 5 Luffy, and the nose is snubbed like a snake. There's also Amazon Lily, Hebihime, Snake Princess. Here you have a woman.
Oh, okay. Oh, he trying. He trying with it, y'all. He trying with it. Randy, I see what you doing, Randy. I see what you doing. So you talking about we got the Snake Princess. She marries the Snake King and becomes the Snake Queen, right? So it'd be like Luffy gonna be the king of the Koja clan. Is it the Koja clan or the Koji? Is it like Koji or Koja? I feel like it's Kuja or Kuja. It's the Kuja clan. I'm way off Koja. It's Kuja. Kuja. One of them. I don't know. Kuja clan, I'm gonna say. Angel said maybe it's called Snake Man because of the name of his attacks. Yeah, but even if you want to call it, say that, it still is the only form based off of animal. Like I get what you're saying, but you still gotta acknowledge the fact that that's the only animal based form of Luffy. You know, like he doesn't have a lion form, and we know that he has It would probably even make more sense for him to have a lion form, being the sun god, and suns being attributed to lions, right? We got the Sun Ego, which is that line with that line on the front of the ship, and but it's like the sun has like a sun mane. So I think a lion form would have made more sense than, especially him being the sun god, you know, and lions being related to the sun. But he doesn't have a lion transformation or a gorilla transformation. He has a snake transformation. So, but even if it is because that's the name of the moves, it still doesn't take away the fact that he has that's the only transformation of his that's named after a animal. And he said Bounce Man calls Bounce Man because of the way he moves, and Tank Man because he's a tank. But he could call it Speed Man, and then he could call the attack Speed something. You know what I mean? Oda, I get what you're saying, but Oda still named it that, and he gave him named attacks based off of snakes. He could have done anything else. He could have called it Speed. He could have called it like Gear 5th Speed Man or something, and then the names could have been Speed something. But Oda specifically chose the snakes, like the snake of all animals, and his future wife is going to be the Snake Princess. I don't know, man. Randy kind of saying he's saying some bars right now. And I'm just saying, he dropping some bars right now. And I still don't know if I believe that Joyboy was a snake. I don't know if I believe that. But Randy dropping some bars right now, and I gotta at least acknowledge that. He been dropping some bars. Let's continue. Ronak Prasad. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry if I butchered your name, but welcome to the stream. You know, shout out to him. And he says Snake Man is due to his hand position, and Snake is long and stretchy. That is true, but Oda could have still went. He could have still went a different direction than the snake, you know. And all I'm saying is Randy got a point, man. Randy, because he's not just saying it, he's also connecting it. He's also connecting these. It's one thing to just throw that fact out there, right? The fact that Luffy has a snake form, but when you look at it in the context of the rest of his theory that he's been giving us so far, it makes sense. And that's all I'm saying. You know, I mean, I get y'all reasoning behind why it's Snake Man, but it still is, you got to look at the what he's saying about it in the context of the theory. Angel said Katakuri quickly showed with Luffy's first attack is in Snake Man, he could still avoid them at that speed. His hand moved like a snake. Let's continue.
And that ends up falling in love with Luffy. The Snake Princess falls in love with Luffy. There's all of the snake imagery here. Why? Above all else, what do we know about Joyboy? That they lived during the Void Century, that they made an apology to the previous Poseidon, that they have a story that made Roger laugh at Laugh Tale, and that it is heavily implied that they were the user of this fruit. What could that apology have been? If you've seen my theory tying the sun god Nika form to the Sulong transformation and the Tamate Bako box and the pills that Hody had taken, right? This all-white transformation that taxes your body when you use it, right? Similar to what's going on with the Sulongs. Hody's body was tearing itself apart. He turned old. Luffy turned old when he exhausted himself from using the form. What if those pills were created to bolster the army that Joyboy was taking against what eventually becomes the world government, these people who were committing a mass genocide on the world, right? But none of them could handle the taxation on their bodies, and they all collapse on the way to the battle. And then he has to apologize because what he wanted to do, this liberator, right, which goes back to the Amazon Lily thing, the slaves, the hoof of the soaring dragon, right? Does Kaido play into any of this? I believe that all of this is a game of telephone, that over the years, it's all about a blue snake. That they don't really remember, even 400 years later, which is where the Calgar and Nolan flashback takes place, right? They believe that this gigantic blue snake is the avatar of the sun god, of Joyboy, right? Maybe Nika was a snake, but Joyboy was a mink. Maybe Nika was a mink, but Joyboy was a snake. And then there would be the reason why we have Sulong transformations in the first place. Maybe the all-white transformation is lineage factor from the minks retained within the fruit. We don't know, but getting a little wacky there. But I mean, still, why do the minks look like Luffy when he transforms? Why did Hody look like Luffy when he transforms? Why does Hody look like a mink when they transform? It all kind of ties together. And keep in mind,
Sulong Hody. Renark said, why haven't we seen any action of Garp till now? A little off topic, but I'll play. I think because Garp is kind of like when Garp's rolling the story, he's at the tail end of his he's at the tail end of his career and his greatness, I guess. Like Garp is old. You know, I'm not saying he ain't strong still. He's still strong. He's strong for an old guy, but I don't think at this point Garp is going to be keeping up with any major player in the world. Like a lot of people like that. A lot of people got this idea in their head that back in Marineford after Akainu killed Ace, that Garp was going to kill Akainu because he said it. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill Akainu." And I'm like, no, like Garp is out of his prime and Akainu is like in his prime. And I don't think Garp would have been able to kill Akainu. He wouldn't have killed him easy at the very least. It would have been I'm not saying Akainu would have killed Garp easily either. You know, it would have been I think Garp was still strong enough at that point to be able to fight, have a good fight against Akainu, but I still think Akainu at that point would have beat Garp, you know, and maybe edge Garp out at that point. I think he would have won. It wouldn't have been an easy fight for either of them, honestly, you know, even if Akainu does lose. But I think Garp is at the tail end of his, you know, his glory days. You know, I think he's out of his prime for one, but he's at the tail end of his glory days to where he's going to still be able to be putting up grand fights against people, especially unless it's somebody like Sengoku, then maybe, I guess, who's like around his age. But as far, I do believe we will get a fight from him. It's probably going to be a flashback. Like the reason why we haven't gotten anything from Garp is because it's just not necessary. Oda doesn't see it as necessary for him to give us anything of Garp yet. That's the best answer I'll give you. Oda he's saving something maybe, you know, or maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he doesn't see a reason to have to give Garp anything. You know, you don't have to give everybody everything. I love Garp. Garp's like one of my top 5 favorite characters in the story. I actually like Garp more than I like Luffy. That's saying something. Like I love it. Like Garp's one of my favorite characters. So I'm with you, but at the same time, you gotta. Like Oda might have plans for it. He just doesn't want to give it to, you know, I can't quite, I don't know what Oda's thinking, but that's the best explanation I can give you. That's the best explanation I can give you, you know, but maybe Oda has something planned for him at the right time, you know. But, you know, you can't just give people what they want just because they want it. It gotta be within the context you want to give it to them in, you know. Angel said, or maybe just maybe Nika had a pet snake. Maybe his pet snake was named Joyboy. No, I'm playing. He said, people only think that because I think it's stated that Garp was the strongest at Marineford, but man really called Kaido and Big Mom a bunch of kids. Okay, let's get that, because I don't remember if people said Garp was the strongest. I know he was the hero of Marines at that time. I don't remember anybody stating he was the strongest. But you gotta look at things like this. A lot of times people are gonna judge you or rate you at pretty much the last thing they seen you. So if like maybe if they're saying Garp is the strongest, they're judging him off of like the last time they seen him or seen anybody fight. You know what I'm saying? But he might have been the strongest at one point. You know what I'm saying? And nobody was able to disprove that, you know, because they never had a chance to prove it and they wasn't ready to prove it. But, you know, you're the strongest until somebody proves otherwise. At the end of the day, that's how it is. You're the strongest until somebody proves otherwise. So it's like when people say Aokiji was the strongest admiral. Maybe at one point, but until somebody proves it wrong. It's just up to that point, nobody proved it wrong because nobody had a reason to prove it wrong. You know, until Akainu challenged him, or he had challenged Akainu, and Akainu beat him. Angel said, but man really called Kaido and Big Mom a bunch of kids. Hey, I mean, it's still Garp, man. Garp's still gonna talk he's still gonna talk his mess. Renok says Garp will get something because time to time we seen him badass. I think Joyboy has army of animals. This is Indian reference. But Garp one punch made whole Whitebeard crew feared. Like I said, I think we will get something of Garp. I think it, cause I think Oda's going to show us something with Garp and Roger possibly fighting, but he just waiting to give us something. He's waiting for the right time to give it to us. Because you got to understand, Garp has a lot of connection with Roger and a lot of heavy hitter pirates like Shiki and Zebek and Roger. So if Oda gave us like if he gave us some stuff about that a lot earlier in the story, he would have had to give us a lot of plot points that he might not have been ready to give us, at that point. So in order to give us a Garp and Roger fight, or a Garp and Shiki fight, or a Garp and Roger versus Zebek fight, it's like he has to do it at the right time when it makes sense for the plot. So, that's why and that was what I was kind of telling you when I first answered your question. That's why I think Oda hasn't given us anything Garp yet. As far as like new fights, I don't think Garp is going to have any new related fights. I think Garp is out of the game at this point. I think he's retired and he's like, I'm done. I'm not fighting no more battles, no more wars. I'm retired. But yeah, that's my idea. Angel's Room said none in the story stated it. I think it was Oda himself, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know. Stan says Garp was not the strongest at Marineford. Angel's Room said, I don't even know if that was true though. Stan says, even we know that Whitebeard wasn't the strongest Yonko at Marineford because of his age. So the same goes for Garp. I agree with that 100%, Stan. I agree fully. I do believe in primes, in like I believe that characters being in or out of their primes does matter in the fight. So I completely agree with you. And Stan says Akaino still beats Garp at Marineford if Garp attack him. Even at his prime, I still put Kaido ahead of prime Garp because he is not in his top 5. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with it. And I'm not saying I disagree with it. I don't know how strong. I don't know how prime Garp. I don't know how prime characters of Garp and Roger's age compare with prime characters of Kaido's age. Because you said Garp wasn't in Kaido's top 5. I don't really look at that as Kaido's top 5 though. And I think that's more of like how Kaido looks at certain people and not just solely based off of power, right? Because if we get technical, it has been portrayed that Garp and Roger have been like rivals, like they've been rivals, where it was like their fights have always been very close, or like they was, like they was rivals. They was fighting very hard fought battles against each other, right? That's how I look at that. So, and if Roger is in Kaido's, that little image that Kaido had with certain characters, then that still shows that Garp is, even though he wasn't in there, he was still on par with Roger, is what I'm saying. So I don't really know if I take that as Kaido's top 5. Maybe those are just guys he fought. Maybe Kaido never fought Garp. Kaido can't put him in there if Kaido never fought Garp. So I don't know if I take that as Kaido saying no specific people were the strongest versus those were like people he respected or something. I don't know, like that could have been Kaido's top 5 most respected characters or something. Angel said, yeah, I believe Akainu would have won since he's fought with Whitebeard hadn't happened yet, or his fight with Whitebeard hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I think Akainu would probably won. Renault said, bruh, at his prime, Garp and Roger was at the same level. I mean, that's kind of what I was telling Stan. I agree. I don't think Garp was no bum. I think Garp could have beaten. Would he have beaten Kaido? I don't know if he would have, like Garp specifically, but it would have been a very tough fight for both of them. That's all I'm gonna say. Angel said, it's not only age for Whitebeard, he was also sick. Exactly. By the way, Kaido never said those people were the top 5 strongest people. They were just people who had or have big impact on the world. Yeah, Kaido never specified what those people were, you know? So that's why a lot of people they create a narrative behind it, but I'm like, you know, they could have just been his top 5 respected. Like, I don't know what they were, really. Stan says, yes, but Kaido doesn't need to fight every single person in the planet in order to know how strong they are. Kaido does have the battle knowledge in order to judge the strength of some without fighting him. I get that, and that's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying those were probably guys he came across in fights that he specifically respected their battle strength. That's all I'm saying. I don't think those were his top 5 strongest characters, though. You know, because none of them were Marines. You gonna sit here and tell me no Marine was as strong as any of them characters? Like, come on now. Like, yeah, we don't know why they were up there. That's all we're saying, Stan. Like, that's all we're saying. And I don't deny his battle knowledge either. I definitely don't deny that. But just because Garp wasn't in there the story still portrays as Garp being on par with Roger, and I'm not going to throw that away just because Garp wasn't in Rod or Kaido's little list or whatever it was. Renault Prasad said all top characters have special swords or fruit, but Garp is pure hockey, no sword or fruit. Yeah, Garp like throwing hands. Garp's a brawler. Like that's Luffy, except Garp doesn't have a double fruit. But yeah, Garp love throwing hands. Andrew said why he said how high will your ceiling go, not how strong will you get. And Stan says, and in that context of his top 5, he said there are only a scant few of people capable of fighting me. So in that context, he was talking about strength. So you're going to tell me Roger was in his image and Garp was already pretty much acknowledged to be on par with Roger. But because Garp wasn't in that image, he couldn't fight Kaido even though Roger could. I'm gonna say it sounds stupid. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know, Kaido's not like the person who dictates who's the strongest. and again, like I said, they were all pirates that he mentioned. None of them were Marines. But you can't sit here and tell me there wasn't ever a single Marine that could take on Kaido, you know. Stan says or hold on. Renault says Kaido is also captured so many times by Marines. Stan says Kaido was captured, but no one could kill him. Renault said, but he was defeated, so he was captured. Wait. And Stan says, wait, we don't know that Garp was on the level of Roger. We do know that they clashed. And Roanoke said, we know because Roger stated himself. Yes. And then Stan said, yes, because the Marines are not worthy. We know that him and Roger used to clash a lot. They were rivals. They were pretty much rivals. You can't really be a rival with somebody who's not on your level. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to be a rival with somebody who's far superior than you. Hey man, let's finish this video though. I know I kind of been going back and forth for you guys. Let's finish this video.
That moonlight is just reflected sunlight. More on the point of the confusion potentially between a giant snake and Kaido, right, is Kaido's name, right? It's been a long-standing Japanese theory that the characters of Kaido actually have the characters for Joyboy within them, which would generally be lost by, an English.
And let me say this, Stan. I'm gonna say this. From all we know, Goldie Roger and Garp both defeated, for what we know, from how it was said, they defeated the Rock's crew. Just them two. Now, I think there was probably more people to help them. Now they was probably the two strongest though, but I believe there was more people to help them. But even then, Garp or Roger needed Garp's strength to fight a bunch of strong individuals. So Garp was strong enough to hold his own against multiple strong individuals. I'm just saying, man. Come on, let's go.
Viewer or reader of One Piece. Now, I think that that's because Kaido was given that name. It's not his real name, right? I think that Rox gave him that name, his mentor, and that's why he eventually gives King his name, right? Changes his name because it's like an affinity. It's something that he picked up from his previous mentor. It's very possible that Rox may have believed that the fish fruit model azure dragon was the fruit in question to bring Joyboy back. And then that's why Kaido ended up with that fruit, because there may have been some miscommunication. Telephone, if you say over the years it starts as here, this blue snake man, right, saved the world, and then there's the Void Century, and the next person tells a story, the next person tells a story, next person tells a story, until you get 400 years later to, the Nolan and Calgara flashback. Now they're sacrificing people to this gigantic blue snake because they don't remember the true story, but they need saving, and they know that somehow the sun god needs to come.
That kind of makes sense though a little bit, right? Because we know Kaido talked about being Joyboy and everything, and let's say throughout history, Joyboy was kind of looked at as a snake individual, right? Like he was, like people believe he was snake. That would make sense, especially Kaido wanting to be Joyboy or believing he is Joyboy, to why Kaido ate the dragon devil fruit, thinking that was going to pretty much make him Joyboy. Believing since Joyboy was a snake and that the dragon looks snakish. Like maybe the rumor was like originally Joyboy was a snake, but people kind of described him as a dragon, right? So Kaido wanted the dragon devil fruit and ended up getting the dragon devil fruit, So it kind of makes sense, like just laying it down in that type of explanation with that type of explanation. Angel's Room said, to me, God Valley was Whitebeard versus Roger and Garp versus Rox. Man, I don't know, because they kind of say Roger and Rox for, But see, I don't know, man. God Valley is so mysterious, man. It's hard to say. Stan says yes because Marines are not worthy. And keep in mind, Kaido does respect the Marines, but in his case, none of them were as worthy as the others in Kaido's top 5. Is that were they not worthy because they weren't strong, or were they just not worthy because they were Marines though? That's now you gotta ask that. Does Kaido just not like Marines, where he's just not going to give them any level of respect and put them in give them any type of reverence? You know what I'm saying? Renault said Roger said that they nearly killed each other many times and he was concerned too. And Angel Room said to me, God Valley was Whitebeard versus Roger and Garp versus Rocks. But well, we'll just have to wait for the future. Stan says Smoker is Luffy's main rival. I disagree with that. And we know that Smoker is nowhere near the same level as Luffy. Who's to say the government made Garp famous in order to show the strength of the Marines, even though Garp is not on that level? I disagree. Smoker is not Luffy's Marine rival. And I don't get why people believe that. At this point, Smoker's irrelevant. If anybody, Smoker is probably more like Sengoku. And Kobe is the one being built to be like Garp. Kobe is going to be Luffy's. If Luffy is Roger, Kobe is going to be Garp. You know, just not as strong. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. If that's what you believe, though, like that to me, you're using that reasoning. I already kind of disagree with the core of your point, so I can't agree with the point you made. Renault said, I think Joyboy has army of animals like snake and mythological or mythical animals, and therefore ancient mythical fruit have their own will. I think Joyboy probably had an army of just all types of races, even humans. Because I think Joyboy was very inclusive to who he let into his kingdom. You know, I think there was a lot of people who just didn't like what he was doing. You know, they didn't like all that inclusion. Stan says, just like how they made it seem like Smoker defeated Crocodile and Luffy, and not Luffy. Bruh, Smoker is rival. They never fought. More than 2 times. Angel says, you know, Stan, that would also explain why Garp don't like to talk about it. Renault said more than. Angel Room said Roger actually being the one to defeat Rocks and Garp getting credit. Yeah, I could agree that it's probably like that, but Garp still helped. I'm sure Garp still helped. Roger wasn't beating all them guys by himself. Come on now. You know, I believe like how it was portrayed to the Marines, I think it went a lot different than that, but I do still think Garp was a heavy influence on it. And you gotta look at it at this. Garp and Roger directly fought each other a lot of the times. And even Roger, like Renault said, Roger even admitted that Garp almost killed him. I have to look into that though, because I don't, that's not coming to my memory. So I want to be sure that's what Garp and Roger said before I like really run with that. One Life Man said, water fruit exists. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Says, sup, yo. Shout out to One Life Man. Welcome to the stream. And then Angel said, would explain why he don't talk about it. And then Renault said, Garp defeated Big Mom and Kaido. That's why he is known as a hero. and it's stated by Hina when they said Kaido and Big Mom are just a bunch of small steps. Stan says, yeah, but Smoker is the one who is actively hunting Luffy and not Kobe. Is he actively hunting Luffy though? When the last time you seen Smoker say, oh, I'm on Luffy's tail right now? Like, is he really actively hunting Luffy? Is he nothing more than a pest at this point? Everybody's hunting Luffy. Come on now. Angel said, by the way, was the Roger Pirates and the Marines versus Rocks Pirates. Yeah. Renault said, I am damn sure of killed that line. You can search on YouTube when he gave responsibility of Ace or Alabasta. I mean, I believe it was probably there. I just wanted to be sure that it was said, because I don't have the best of memory, so I can't really rely on something I hardly remember. But if you know what chapter, or you could like get a screenshot, a scan, send it to me in the Discord, which is in the description box. But let's finish this video.
Back, Joyboy needs to return. It's part of the prophecy, right? They're trying to have it happen 400 years later, not 800 years later. And then you have the Celestial Dragons that have the crest. They call themselves dragons. Like, maybe there's something there. But ultimately, I really think that this is an allegory for Chopper. Chopper was a reindeer that ate a human fruit that we don't know the model of yet. Maybe it's a mink. Who knows? Sulong Chopper at some point. Probably not, because I'm sure it would have happened by now. But either way, I think that this will all be a message about inclusivity. That the message of One Piece is really One Piece, P-E-A-C-E, right? Chopper wasn't accepted by humans, and he also wasn't accepted by reindeers when he transformed, right? So here we have potentially this snake, and think of cute little Nola from the Calgara and Nolan flashback, right? Singing and dancing with music notes coming out of them, spreading joy. Think about that. Every time you see that snake, Oda actually drew musical notes coming out of them. Almost drew the snake as if it was smiling. Now, if they ate a Hito no Mi, right, even the model Sun God Nika, they wouldn't quite be snake anymore, and they wouldn't quite be human either, which means they would be like Chopper without a classification. They wouldn't be a mink because they'd be a reptile, right? So they wouldn't be necessarily accepted by them, but potentially, I think that that's probably something that Joyboy had to work towards. Wouldn't be a fishman, right? Because can't breathe underwater unless there's, the resin theory that you're able to coach yourself, like a ship and go underwater. We'll see if that ever, comes to fruition. But also still not quite human, not quite snake, not quite mink, not quite fishman, right? But they were the liberator of the world, right? Because they wanted acceptance. Even if Joyboy wasn't a snake, I don't think that they were actually human. For years, people have drawn comparisons to Sun Wukong. It's obviously a big part of Dragon Ball, right? Maybe Nika or Joyboy is the actual avatar, the real Sun Wukong in the story, and then we'll see that one of them, was potentially a monkey, right? And then the other one is a snake, maybe, but I don't think that they are a human eating this human fruit. Because it's just a stronger story of liberation and acceptance if the person that's freeing everybody was an outcast that wasn't accepted until maybe they died. And then everybody realized what they were trying to do. And then unfortunately, the fishmen had to hide underneath the sea, and the minks had to hide up on top of Zoe and wait 800 years for Luffy to show up and allow them to repopulate on the surface. But that's going to do it, guys. I really love this theory. I love the idea of Joyboy not necessarily being...
Alright, y'all know the link is in the description box, so y'all make sure y'all go give him a like. Maybe consider subscribing to his channel. You know, Randy Troy makes great content. I always enjoy doing his videos. He got like this dry humor about him that I enjoy. And I hope you don't, you know, if he ever listen, you don't get offended by me saying this is dry humor. But it's like his delivery. I don't want to say it's dry as in like boring, but it's just kind of like he's just like super serious when he delivers these jokes. You know, but then he'll crack a smile just to let you know it's a joke. But, you know, and it's real calm and very mellow, like, you know, he just delivered a joke like this and this type of cadence. But I enjoy it. I personally enjoy it. I don't know. I know a lot of people might, you know, he might be acquiring taste, but I kind of like the humor. Renault said Garp and Roger in jail, and Roger telling Garp to take care of his kid Ace. Yeah, I mean, I vaguely remember, but you know, you narrowed it down, I guess. Angel said, "Don't remember a thing Randy said." Yeah, I know, because y'all was too busy arguing about something completely off topic. But yeah, but as far as this whole Sun God Nika devil fruit, it was, you know, y'all kind of took me a little off of focus in the stream, so you know I couldn't really focus on the topic at hand either. But yeah, I kind of like the idea. I like the idea of maybe Joyboy being a snake, not so much like Luffy having like Nika being a snake in the sense Joy or Luffy's devil fruit being snake related either. But I do kind of like the principle of Joyboy being one of them snakes that we seen, because we know that Joyboy might have been a giant, right? Because when we look at during the Revelry arc, and we follow Eam into this storage for, it's kind of like a dungeon to a degree, like a deep freezing dungeon where it was like cold in there, right? And we see this big straw hat, right? A lot of people say, whose straw hat is that, right? Whose straw hat? You know, a lot of people at that time, most people would connect it to Joyboy, because we didn't really know who Nika was at the time. So we couldn't really talk about Nika, you know, or we couldn't predict Nika at that time. So we just kind of assumed it was Joyboy. And it could be Joyboy's hat. It's a giant. It's a hat made for somebody that's big though, right? So if it is Joyboy's hat, you know, it at least shows that he was bigger than a human. He had to be a giant man, right? Or maybe he could have been a giant snake, you know. And there's a lot of there's some, you know, again, he did drop a little hints, you know, or he did drop some evidence, and I think, you know, some of his evidence is, you know, it's his argument. His argument was good along with the evidence, you know, like the Luffy's only form that's named after an animal, you know, his only Gear 4 transformation that we seen that was named after an animal was named after a snake. You know, and y'all was going on about like, yeah, it's called Snake Man because his hands. That's not what I'm arguing. The point of the argument is that is the only transformation, the only Gear 4 transformation that was named after an animal, and it was named after a snake specifically. He has no other transformations named after any other animals, you know, and that was kind of the point. I think y'all kind of missed that point, but I don't know. Maybe y'all did get it. I don't know. Renault said, "My first day and I disturb you." Nah, you're good, man. You came in, you helped me out, and I appreciate that. Cause when I got these two guys, Angel and Stan, they like some bullies, man. They be coming in my stream trying to bully me and stuff, and jump me and argue against everything I say. And you came and you had my side, so you're a good subscriber. I like you. But yeah, you're cool. You good. You didn't disturb anybody. I'm just messing. I love Angel and Stan. They, you know, they always gotta play devil's advocate, which, you know, I love that. I love when they do that. You know, we debate a lot, but it's all in fun. Angel's Room said, "Why call him boy then?" I don't know. I don't know. You know, I don't think that's specifically a like not against, you know, because what about when Joyboy grows up? Is he supposed to be called Joy Man? Why is he called boy? Was it, if he was a man, why do they call him a boy? I don't know. Maybe it rang, right? Maybe it had a nice ring to it. I don't know though. You know, good point though, but I don't know. You know, maybe he wasn't a snake. It's just a theory though. You know, that's the other answer I'll give you. It's just a theory, and maybe he wasn't a snake. Renault said, but still have some questions. Is that what you're saying? You still have some K. What I know One Piece that made Roger laugh and let him know he is too early for that. Why not Giant Monkey? Luffy name is after Monkey. Yeah, why not Monkey? Why doesn't he have a monkey transformation? He has a snake transformation, but he doesn't have a monkey transformation. As far as what made Roger laugh, I couldn't tell you, man. There's a theory out there from O'Hara. I think it's O'Hara. He says that the One Piece is sake. You know that was his ultimate thing. He explains it. It's a great theory. It's actually a great theory. I know I kind of oversimplified the hell out of his theory just now, but you know he said it was sake, and maybe the One Piece. The purpose of the One Piece is to throw the biggest party in the world after they pretty much destroyed the Red Line and unite the world, and they got the sake to throw this major, you know, because sake it unifies people. We see Luffy, Sabo, and Ace after they had the sake thing, they became brothers. They went from strangers or friends to family, you know, so it connected them. The sake connects them. Just like the Straw Hats, every time they have a new Straw Hat, they always bring out the sake to unify. So, but that's that theory. That's not my theory. But maybe that's why Roger laughed, because it was just the point of the One Piece being to throw the biggest party was just funny to him. You know, because it was kind of childish a little bit. But I don't know. Angel said only animal called a boy besides a human is a dog. What do you mean? Why not giant monkey? I don't know. You have to ask Renault. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't have a giant monkey for him. So, and that would make more sense to have a snake for him, for a god named Monkey, right? But yeah, I don't. You have to ask Renault what he said. Renault said, but Roger knew he is too early for that. Yeah, man. Look, man. I don't know. Like, everything is just speculation, man. Like, you know, I told you what the theory that I heard, like the best theory that I heard of what the One Piece is. And yeah, I don't know. You know, Renault says, see, he said he has a snake for him. That's why a giant snake. Oh, you talking to Angels. Yeah, no, I get what you meant, Renault. I'm just saying Angel asked that, so I'm gonna let him. But yeah, y'all, it was a good stream. You know, I can't stream too much longer though. I got something to do. Got some company, so I gotta get ready for that. But yeah, y'all, I won't be streaming tomorrow. We'll be taking a break, but we will be back for chapter 1048. You know, Renault said it's 5 a.m. here. God dang, man, you over in Europe? God dang, man, you stayed to listen. Hey, shout out to Renault, man. he's still awake just to catch the stream, and I appreciate it. Or you must be in like Asia or something. You must be like past. You're like you must be in Asia. I don't know, but man, shout out to Renault, man, and Angel with the great stream. Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys for coming through. We will be back we will be back on Sunday for the One Piece chapter 1048 reaction. So y'all make sure y'all here for that. Y'all know what time it is. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. in or not 4 a.m. It's 4 p.m. So it's like an hour earlier than when I do these streams. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all catch that stream. Anyway, make sure y'all hit that like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you're looking for a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the Discord and we have the Facebook group. All of these will be in the link or the description box down below, as well as Randy Troy's video. So y'all make sure y'all go show him some love. Renault said, I am 18. Hey, you legal? Well, you over in America, you would be legal to join the military and smoke cigarettes. Still be too young to drink though. Angel said, ask Oda. Renault said, yes, I am Indian. Cool. Yeah, I figure you was a little further than Europe because there's a lot of people over in Europe or in the UK and then like Germany over here, and you know they're a couple hours behind you, so I knew you had to be a little further. Angel said why he didn't make Luffy a giant monkey. One Life Man with a thumbs up. Renault said great discussion. Angle, I don't know. He also didn't name Luffy Snake. Yeah. I mean, Angel, I think what he's saying, like the point of what he's saying is the fact, like when I was saying like the only transformation of Luffy that Luffy has that is based off of an animal is a snake and not a giant monkey instead, you know. But yeah, y'all can keep going. Let me know, guys, in the comments, you know, especially after I finish the stream. Let me know in the comments what you think. You know, was Joyboy a snake? Could he have possibly been a snake, or do you just think that's just some BS? Let me know what you thought, right? And if you disagree or agree with anything I said, let me know in the comments and put like a little timestamp. Let me know a timestamp so I know what part of the stream that you're talking about. But yeah, you know, because I know we say a lot of stuff in these streams. So let me know what y'all agree or disagree or something that stuck out to you, and put the timestamp in the comments so I'll get back to you. Anyway, y'all. It's your boy, Sean P. the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Y'all have a good Saturday. I'll see you guys Sunday, and I am out of here. Peace. What if Joyboy was just a writer? I don't know what to say to that. Y'all have a good one.